Hey guys, Zenzia14, and 2023 is officially over, so I thought it might be interesting to do a video talking about the best and worst LEGO shows of the year. In terms of ranking, we'll start out with what I consider the worst, and then make our way to what I consider the best. So let's get the worst out of the way, and that's Dream Team. I'm actually working on a whole detailed video about why I personally hate this crossover episode, but it'll probably be up in February, so I'll link it in the description of this video when it's out. And with that, I'll just go straight to the point here. This is a crossover between Ninjago and Dreams, and it is very poorly handled. I was actually excited to watch it at first, but it's filled with over-the-top self-congratulatory meta-references and very little in terms of fun character interactions or even an enjoyable plot. Overall, it was just a disappointing waste of potential and a waste of time. I'll explain more in depth in the other video, so let's get into what I consider the second worst LEGO show to come out in 2023, which is Ninjago Dragons Rising Season 1. Yes, I'm a Ninjago fan and this channel is founded on it, but oh my gosh, the canon show keeps getting worse and worse. I could honestly have an entire rant about this because there's so much to break down and it's hard to explain just how bad it is here. So I'm just going to keep it to a few key points for now, and I'm going to try to keep it as spoiler-free as I can. I'd explain a little bit of what the show is about in case you're unaware of what it is, but like, I can't because there's just like too much going on, which goes into the first point of it's confusing. Seriously confusing. They make new lore, they break old lore, they contradict previous canon at every turn, it feels like. There's so many questions and it feels like they have no intention to even answer them. The timeline is a confusing blur, it's infuriating. And when it's not confusing as heck, it's boring as heck, or inconsequential as heck. There's entire episodes that basically mean nothing to the greater plot, and it's not in a fun filler episode way, it's in a why are we here kind of way. There is barely a single thing actually redeemable in the whole 20 episodes. I like Lord Roz, some of the new stuff is vaguely interesting. And the voice acting is fine, they did perfectly fine, but it doesn't matter, it doesn't make up for the absolute garbage that I feel like the rest of the show is. The writing, bad. The story, contrived. The animation, super busy and hard to process to me. The majority of new characters, bad. The inclusion of past side characters, I hope you weren't looking forward to that, they barely even talk about Jay. Okay, what about Aaron, the new kid? He's an okay character, surely since he's the main focus it'll be fun to see how he becomes a proper ninja. Nope, he literally doesn't matter the story, like, at all right now. It's a Sora show, 24/7. Aaron could literally be removed from the show, and you could barely see a difference. It's bizarre. The humor is absolutely terrible. One of the jokes literally made me feel physical pain. The new theme song, I skip it every time, it's super annoying. Where did the fold go? And also, did you want them to actually respect the previous canon? Heck no, they will trash it. At this point, I do not understand for the life of me why they don't give Ninjago a full, proper reset reboot and let the existing canon rest. That's all I'm gonna say about it for now. Maybe I'll go more in depth in the future, but now let's get back into the next of what I consider the worst. And that's Dreams Season 1, so I've given my thoughts on Part 1 of Dreams before, and I'm hoping to eventually get around to doing Part 2 in depth as well, but overall for now, I'm just gonna say yikes. Again. That's what I said about Part 1, but just, it is yikes. This show has potential, the show has good elements, and after Part 1 I was hoping it'd get better. But Part 2 didn't really deliver, it just became differently bad. In case you don't know about this show, it's about a bunch of young teenagers from Brooklyn becoming dream chasers and fighting a Nightmare King who wants to steal kids' imagination and corrupt the dream realms. In general, the lore in this show is inconsistent and confusing. I'm still not sure what half the rules of Dream Sand are. The rules of when they can and shouldn't wake up are vague. It seems like a lot of rules and things are made up or taken away just for plot convenience. Honestly, I feel like very few of the characters are really likable. After watching the show, my favorite characters ended up being Z-Blob, Nighthunter, and Logan. And maybe like Mr. Oz because he's chaotic, but everybody else, they're either boring or outright annoying. To me, the jokes rarely hit. Most of the times I laughed was out of sheer bafflement of something being said seemingly out of left field. Most of my enjoyment of watching the show at this point comes from like this ironic sense of enjoyment, which I mean is something, but still. Also, the animation is still funky looking. But I will say the base idea is fine, the plot is even okay, but the way they go about it just There's just a lot of confusion, boredom, annoyance, and wasted potential. It can improve. I hope it improves. Let's hope Season 2 is better. And now let's go into a little bit more neutral territory, which is LEGO Friends: The Next Chapter. This is a part of the newest reboot of the LEGO Friends theme. I was actually a fan of the first wave of LEGO Friends media. I didn't like the first reboot very much, but at least there were some redeemable qualities to it, and honestly, there was sort of a bop of a villain song. 'Cause I'm rich, I'm rich. There was another small half reboot after that, but that was awful. We're not going to talk about it. This reboot is it's just really boring. It's not fully bad enough to be bad, and it's not good enough to be good. Like, there's definitely some bad. We have the dubious and unclear episode morals, the downgrade in animation quality, the fact that 95% of the time the so-called friends didn't seem to even want to be near each other. Like, half the time I feel like they're barely tolerating each other. The majority of the episodes they're bickering and just being straight up mean. So not really LEGO friends, more like LEGO fellow classmates you tolerate. And if we're gonna address humor, let's not, because yeah, no, it's not good. But there is some good. We have something, I'm sure. The fact that I expected to be worse, it could have been a lot worse. I like Skip, he's fun. The first special is okay, it's decent. The holiday episode is probably one of the best out of the bunch, and that's mostly because they actually act like friends for the most part. The diversity is fine, the designs aren't bad, though honestly I think the diverse cast actually contributes to some of the issues where they're so diverse in personality that they have absolutely nothing in common. I feel like them getting along just really wasn't a part of the design of this show about friends, which is weird. But it's definitely better than the worst shows on this list, so it's sitting firmly kind of in neutral, hoping it gets better. Next, we start getting into the good, and this one actually surprised me quite a bit, which is LEGO City No Limits. I'll be honest, I was at first very dubious because LEGO City Adventures was so good, and there was no way this could live up to it. And while it's definitely not LEGO City Adventures, I actually enjoy these shorts way more than I thought I would. On first glance, it seems like the typical kind of LEGO City shorts, but with a sort of awkward vlogging style, but then you get hit with an overarching villain plot starting in episode 1? Like a full unhinged villain threatening to use explosives and putting the cast in danger, which I just wasn't expecting from this. I feel like in some ways these shorts actually have more peril than LEGO City Adventures, which is wild. I'm not gonna go into too many details because I don't want to spoil anything, since I actually wholeheartedly recommend you to watch the show. There's 10 episodes and they're like 5 minutes long. The humor is actually pretty funny and clever. A lot of the seemingly cringe vlogging moments actually kind of come across in a satire kind of fashion. Also, the animation is actually super nice. It's done in a LEGO Movie-esque stop-motion-like style, and it looks really good. Also, just on a side note, they actually include some characters from LEGO City Adventures in the show, though Duke Detain is hilariously out of character, and his voice turns from this
has to end
into like this.
They must be stopped.
Like, why is he suddenly Batman? I'm not even mad because I'm just in a state of shock. It's actually kind of amazing.
They must be stopped.
Overall, these shorts are better than expected. I recommend them. I actually hope for more like this in the future. And now we go into what I consider the best LEGO show of 2023. And that's Monkey Kid Season 4. This is the first time I've actually properly talked about Monkey Kid here on my channel, and just like, I need to more because oh my gosh, it's so good. I love it so much. If you haven't heard of it before, here's the basics. Monkey Kid is a show from LEGO based semi-loosely on the Chinese story Journey to the West, and it follows MK as he's being trained by Monkey Kid to become his successor. And along the way, there's friends, villains, and drama. Monkey Kid is actually one of the best shows LEGO has made ever, one of their best pieces of media in general. Monkey Kid has consistently knocked it out of the park, and Season 4 is no exception. I can't go into the season specifically too much about spoilers, but like Season 4 and the Season 4 special, The Emperor's Wrath, are great. The writing is great, the voice acting is great, the humor is great, the characters are brilliant, I love them. The animation is beautiful, I could go on and on about the animation. Not a day goes by that I don't wish Ninjago had animation like this. Overall, watch Monkey Kid. I wish LEGO advertised and distributed the show better because I highly recommend this show. I recommend this show to pretty much everyone, and I'm eagerly awaiting Season 5. I hope it keeps up this level of quality because it's so good. In the future, I'd like to make more videos about Monkey Kid. Not sure when, but eventually, it shall be done. So, I think that's about everything. There was a lot of original LEGO shows in 2023. On a whole, there's definitely room for improvement with some of them, but I'm going to be optimistic about 2024. Oh. I'm gonna try to be optimistic in 2024 anyway. These are just my personal opinions. Feel free to share your own rankings of these shows in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye!